In County Donegal, the hand weavers who are responsible for Donegal tweed are working hard to ensure that their craft is passed on to a new generation of hand weavers. Mary Hart has been to meet some of this new breed and to find out how they support and help one another.
It's a landscape that has inspired its people for thousands of years. Their music, literature and workmanship. The earthy tones of the bog, the subtle heathers and delicate flora. Colours synonymous with the world-renowned Donegal tweeds. It was the pull of this landscape that lured one Donegal woman back home to swap a career in hairdressing for the traditional skill of hand weaving.
City didn't do it for me, and after a couple of years I came back to Donegal and hairdressing wasn't really for me either, and I was lucky enough, a friend of mine mentioned a hand weaver in Donegal town, and she was looking for an apprenticeship and she taught me how to weave.
In 1999, with the help of family and friends, CYNDI turned an old cottage into a studio, taking inspiration for her unique designs from all around her, and a family steeped in traditional skills.
The writing maybe was on the wall more than I realised. I grew up with Mum working as a seamstress, and a very, very good one at that. The loom belonged to Dad. Dad wove for a very brief period of time, and I made a discovery fairly recently on Dad's side of the family as well. My great-great-grandmother was an expert spinner. The place inspires me. The landscape, the sea, it's bursting at the seams with inspiration. It really is.
Bringing that inspiration onto the colour palette of Donegal wool, weaving it into her own unique designs, involves a blend of mathematical precision, a melodic dexterity and a lot of creative talent.
I weave up small amounts of fabric. I will weave according to what I want to do. I'm producing scarves, shawls, bags. I think crafts maybe lend themselves very well to living in places like this. I think there will always be people like me that are willing and happy to maybe sacrifice the big job in the cities and choose a different way of life in a place like this.
One man who knows the business inside out is DOHERTY. He's been weaving in his native Ardara for 60 years. One of the few left in a village once filled with weavers. But he's mindful of the threat posed by the global market of mechanised weaving.
Well, the power loom has taken over. A weaver will fire maybe 55 to 60 shots in a minute. And the power loom's up to 400. So you can imagine how quick it's made. But there's nothing to replace hand weaving. Like, I love doing my own designs and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the reasons. And if I see thread and you have a good idea of what you're going to do with it right away. Once I see the colours, I know what I can do with it. And that's the way you pick it out. Earthy colours and the heather and the bog colours. But you need the bright colours through them as well. People go for bright colours, a lot of them.
Where would you get your yarns from?
We get most of our yarns all from Kilcara.
Locally?
Locally here in Kilcara, we're about 17 miles from here. And you get a big selection of colours.
Once Eddie has chosen his mix of colour threads, it's down to the serious business of warping and weaving. And what might seem like simple arithmetic is far from it, if a genuine Donegal tweed is to be produced.
So you draw in 12 straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The next 12 then you reverse them. You do 13, 14, 15, 16, go the other way to get it 24. So then you start from 1 to 12 and 13, 24 backwards, and you have that all done across.
There's an awful lot of maths going on.
There's an awful lot of maths going on, that's all right. Well, the throws will be our big seller. America will be the big one. We sell a good bit to Germany and Italy. You would even be lying in bed and you'd be thinking what you're going to do the next day at weaving. That's just the way it is. Weaving's always in your mind.
In nearby Glen there was once a thriving cottage industry of weavers and spinners. Today, the Glen Folk Village helps keep those skills alive, offering classes to locals and visitors in the summer months.
What we do here is we bring people back in time. The motto when I started weaving first was "Ik fi ar tohi unduhis," which means weaving a future from our past. It's in the blood of the local people. It's very much dormant, and once they actually try it out, they really they adapt to it quite quickly. It's more of an experience. Like the Wild Atlantic Way, people are looking for experiences, and they like when they come to Glen you can totally merge with the sea and the landscape. Now, some of the wool I would actually spin. So my first stage is pick the colours for the landscape and then card it here with the hand carders, and then if I'm going to spin it, I use my traditional spinning wheel. It was made in Inishowen. And then the next stage is blending all the colours together, and it's a wonderful way to get gradation in the landscape for a tapestry.
For Donegal weavers, this wild and rugged landscape offers more than inspiration. It's the place that holds the spirit of generations of creative endeavour.